Off to a good start. How is everybody doing this morning? Really nice. We'll kick it off sharply. I think my favorite snow, actually. All is well, thank you. That comeback yesterday, snow was really impressive. So diverting a little bit from a little divergence from the market. Watching 277 to 80. E-Dog, similar kind of setup. Software is flat. Boy, that's looking really good. Upside. Let's look gap above. Let's kicking things off a little early today. We are about 8 minutes away from actually officially kicking this off, but had some issues this week with audio, so just want to make sure that everything's running properly. I think it is. We're off to a really good start this FOMC morning. Morning, champ. Good morning, John W. Scott. Always a pleasure. Drew 58. What's up, dude? Stock 51. Good morning. Good morning. Mediane. What's up, Russ? Saved it. Saving any lives overnight? Saving lives and then wasting his here with us on vacation. What's up, Davi? Look at those. Look at that golden name, Davi Russell. Good morning, Dr. Gorgonzola. Dr. G. Thanks everybody joining us. We are about 5 minutes away from the pre-breakfast session. Just not a whole lot that I'm loving. There are a few names that we can talk about, but all in all, it's gonna be tricky. But we're doing all right in this kind of market. I mean, already my favorite setup is I think snow, which is a little scary, but take it. A lot of these software names saw a nice little rebound into the close, and they're holding up really nicely here. So interesting. Microsoft holding slightly green here, pre-market. We do have earnings. Let me pull up the earnings here. Let's see. Today's Wednesday. This morning, SoFi had earnings. SoFi, we're gonna kick it off here. Gapping down a bit here. Nothing else that I like trade this morning. After the close, we do have Microsoft, Meta, Robinhood, ARM, Qualcomm, MCX, CMG, just to mention a few. Gonna be a busy rest of this morning. Sorry, this week. Comes to earnings. Netflix continued to show relative strength here as it filled the gap yesterday after that earnings gap down, which is bullish. Believe it or not, it's bullish. This could be a near-term bottom that it's trying to put, holding these highs from 2021, turning higher. I would love a break above 75 to be a little more confident about that. All right. Morning, Kareem. Let's take a look at SDX stock. So CA is a memory play. It moves with MU, some of these names. Yeah, nice move. Very nice move. PM looks good. This feels like it wants to move back to 8:30. That PM high, or what's that paradigm, right? Also earnings play, gapping up. Very nice. Oh, VRT got kicked in the nuts. Earnings gap down. TWI near lows. So come back off the overnight lows, so did have earnings, pretty good earnings, but tough. For everybody joining us, guys, we have 2 more minutes until we kick it off officially here for market session. We kick it off at 9:05. Just talking about things here. All right. Yeah, interesting gamma here. I'll let the J to the M talk about gamma, but pretty interesting. See what happens here. SPX at this moment is trading right below that 74.30 pivot, which we've talked about for a while. They're doing their best. Overnight lows was around 7,400. Once again, saved. Yeah, VIX, honorable mention here by stock, up nicely, 34%. Still doing very low, still below 20, but nonetheless, important to keep track of today. We do have FOMC later. All right, I think we're about time to kick it off here, but let me just make sure we're that. Make sure that JM is with us. He's not, so we're just gonna give him a minute. Oh, there he is.
Sorry about that. I wasn't on the stage.
The echo right there is insane. Is it just me, maybe?
Hmm. I don't know. Wop wop echo.
All right, try now. Oh,
Any better?
much better. So that was me, not you. I'm sorry, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, take your time, man. But whenever you're ready, you can kick it off. Talk about gamma, masking, ESSPX, whatever you want, man. You're the boss.
Yes, whatever I want. That's what I like to hear. Let me just finish adjusting this on my chart.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So I've got the morning plan posted by Matei, but I'll go over this. The first thing I'll say, obviously, everyone knows FOMC is today. The main thing is that trading, after the first 30 minutes, usually it gets really slow and choppy, and everyone's waiting for the meeting, so there's no reason to really overtrade a lot before. If there's some momentum right at the open, that's fine. You're just not going to get a ton of huge moves right before FOMC. Nobody is going to get, over leveraged right up into the meeting. So just don't overtrade, especially after the first hour or so. As far as overnight, we did have quite a bit of movement in the overnight session. Um, Traded as low as 74.05 in the overnight session. So the overnight low down there is something that I will be watching for sure for a failed breakdown. That would be my top long setup. If we get that before FOMC, that's fine. We may need FOMC to help us to get down there. We'll see. But that area, the overnight low, I would like to watch for a failed breakdown there. Otherwise, we're still in the same range that we've been in, for several days, and rejected 74.50 again in the overnight session. So you need to clear 74.50. As far as gamma positioning, it gets a little bit thinner above 74.50. So if you can clear that, and again, these things may not happen until after FOMC. But as far as the positioning on the tape, above 74.30 and 74.50 can try for 7,500. And then on the downside, below 74.30, which we're currently trading 74.25 at the moment, does favor a fade into 7,400, which would line up with the overnight low. So 74.50 primary kind of pivot. The upside opens up a lot above there. We are also in negative gamma, which is the same environment we were in yesterday. Which you'll notice, it just price action feels a lot more volatile. Candles are bigger and quicker. It doesn't necessarily mean up or down. It just means that as price is moving in either direction, it moves with a lot more momentum and larger, faster moves in either direction. So just be aware of that. We are set to open in that again today. So you can see similar price action. The VIX is elevated, obviously, anticipating FOMC. So just be aware of those things. But mostly 7,400 to 7,450 range. And I'll be looking at that 7,400 spot in particular if we see that early in the session.
Awesome. Um, if we open up where we are and move straight into 74.50, is that a short in your opinion? Or
Yeah, I think it likely holds again. I would see what positioning changes. Like I said, it did reject twice in the overnight session already, but likely have a tradable scalp again if we were to go straight from here on the open.
awesome. All right. Great plan. Yeah, the only thing I would mention would be this 74.30. It's been a pivot that not only on the daily and the weekly is important, but we've noticed price reacting to that. Yesterday was one of those instances where 74.30 actually held nicely and we rallied a little bit. Uh, on Friday of last week, we broke that 74.30, pushed lower nicely. And it's because of the on the weekly, you can see these two lows here, uh, right around that 74.30 zone. So it's a lot of importance there for me at least to watch. So above 74.30, I would imagine we can move to 74.50 plus. So that 74.30 remains above us at this moment. In terms of SPX daily, just big picture, um, the last four trading sessions have been contained within this July 23rd candle, which is the Thursday candle of last week, I believe. Uh, so we've had quite a balanced area here within this candle, which is important as well. Just pay attention to. All right, so moving away from S&P, we have a few names on the list. Nothing that I'm terribly in love with, but let me start with my favorite, NOW, Snow. I do prefer these kind of plays when we are in a bounce area, and bounce area is just a range, and in an uptrend, you see an attempt to break that bounce low, which we attempted yesterday around 260, and then they snapped it back up towards the highs. We're seeing a gap up today. So this for me, this kind of hammer bar on the daily is important. Just means that sellers didn't really have too much here, and buyers stepped in where they had to, pushing it higher. So fairly defined area up above here. Now, yesterday's highs around that 277, and then 280, I think is that defined level that I'm talking about. Break above to 280. We can easily see 285 plus. So for today, I'll be watching snow very carefully at the open. It is pushing higher a little bit here in the pre-market. We can see on the 10-minute chart the rebound we saw yesterday. It was pretty an incredible rebound to the upside here. So we're just sitting in this kind of consolidation here in the small time frame. So 277, I'm interested in. PM high is right below there at around 276. So yeah, I'll be following this and some of the other software names very closely. I didn't mention it in the watch list, but if you look at D-Dog on the daily, we kind of did something similar, right? Nice little tail on the daily yesterday, and buyers stepping in and holding nicely. And there was another one, I just don't remember which one it was. Net, kind of similar. Net actually held up really nicely. The daily structure is not as nice as Snow, for example, but just shows you that they're stepping in where they have to in software. Uh, NOW is a software name, but that one actually looks a lot better in terms of the candle yesterday, right? Didn't really see that tail. It opened up and then pushed higher. Did see a little bit of an up and down move, but close near the high. So NOW, nice call that champ. It's more of a continuation play. We are now one time framing to the upside. We are at resistance though. This 113, 114 area is resistance. You can see that from over here on the daily on July 20th, on 7th of July and July 13th. So if you can clear that, I think we see kind of easier trades to the upside. But nonetheless, it's the momentum is there at NLW and another software there. Now, Microsoft has earnings. It's a software play. I'm not going to trade this, but worth watching this as well for today. Going back to the watch list, AAPL, Apple. It's been looking pretty good. Yesterday was a little trickier price action to the previous 2 days, but there's clear momentum in this one. It's clearly detached from some of the, I guess, the negatives out there in terms of uh, making stock move up versus down. CapEx, big deal. Bull, no real CapEx issues there. Say Microsoft Meta leading that, to the upside. But Apple, I would watch that 339, 340 for an intraday setup. Potentially move back up towards yesterday's highs around 343. More of a tactical play. SNDK, very, very weak price action. There's a lot going on in South Korea. Uh, the So for me with this one, it's a continuation move to the downside. Say MU is something similar, although they tend to put a little bit of a failed breakdown here. Yesterday, I would watch yesterday's lows for continuation to the downside. I would be cautious trading these to the upside until something fundamentally changes with these. So in terms of the fundamentals, MU is cheap. That's what a lot of fundamental traders say. But in terms of the narrative is telling me just to stay away. So, I would say tactically, these have been pretty good to trade intraday, and stuff like that. But they don't last very, very long. Moving on here, Nvidia. Nvidia put in a nice little bounce yesterday off the 200-day moving average. We have a triple bottom at the 200-day moving average. That's the gray dotted line on my chart here, here, and here. So we remain above this 195, 196 area. And for me, with this one, it's just a matter of, can we dig ourselves out of this candle and start pushing towards that 200, above 200, maybe we can get 205 plus. Once again, not something I'm very, very confident in or excited about. Just one to watch. If we break the 200-day, if we break yesterday's lows, this one becomes a very quick downside trade that could see a pretty ugly unravel. Another one, Tesla, below 300. I think this is a pretty good one to watch. Saw a little bit of a mechanical bounce off of that 300 test yesterday. Will it sustain and will they sell? Right, so 300, I'm watching very closely for potential put play there. If they push it below 200 and recover that, sorry, 300 and recover that 300, that could be another one, kind of upside play to watch. Keep an eye on that. And then lately, lastly here, USO, very much in play due to headlines. More recently, there was a negative headline out there. Trump, once again, uh, talking and saying pretty tough things about them hitting Iran. We've heard this before. Market is reacting. It's been bought up, I would say, but nothing significant. It's been bought up and then sold into, and so uh, for now, let's see what happens. But USO is up nicely here, almost 7%. What I like about this USO play is that we see a little bit of a dip off the open. It holds that dip, let's just say around that 126.50, and pushes above yesterday's highs around that 128, 66 to be specific. We could see a nice little gap fill above. I don't love trading USO. It's harder to trade for me, but for me, it's a pretty clear trade. It's a pretty easy trade idea. In terms of execution, was trickier, but nonetheless, it's probably one of the better plays out there to watch. If there's a headline out there that contradicts them bombing Iran or continuation of the Iran war, obviously USO is hands off to the upside. That could be sold into. So that's all I have. Dr. Gorgonzola is mentioning crowd. We'll take a look at some of the individual names that you guys want us to take a look at. But yeah, all these software names are looking very much the same. Will have a nice little tail off of yesterday's sell-off. So the question is, do we get some sort of innovation? All right. Sarang is next, our analyst. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, everybody. So I think since we have an FOMC today, I would like to set on the hands. But from the catalyst trade perspective, we have two trade. The one I'm watching mainly is the car, CAR. They reported the earning, and the earning isn't good. The stock is gapping down 14%, whereas implied move was around 10 to 11%. So if you look at the higher time frame, the 140 area, I think looks very key. 140 to 142 area, looks very key on a daily time frame. So what I'm looking is basically break below this 141 area at the open to see the continuation move, or maybe a front side short between 148 to 150 area. The stock had a parabolic move, I think, till 850 a few weeks before. So I think it might be a time for a correction. So we already did a 90% of correction, but I think the earning would be a major play. So yeah, just watching below 141. And second is SK Hynix. Also, they also missed expectations on the earning. The stock is not reacting much, but if you look at the Korean, so the stock has closed almost 8 to 10% to the downside. But here, I think we moved down, but again we recovered very well. So there are two trades I'm watching, but it will be a small trade. So the expectation is slightly miss. It's not that big miss. I think based on the valuation, this 124, 125 to 30 area is a good value for the semiconductor stock. So since we have reported the earning, we could see some volatility today. So what I'm watching is the offside play. So I think the entry could be above 130 reclaim. That's
Mhm.
entry, and risking maybe 127 on that one. Otherwise, we could wait for some intraday pattern to break this 125 is the pre-market low. So those are the stuff I'm watching on SK Hynix. And apart from that, my plan is to just wait and watch in the first half of the market and see where you see the strength and weakness, and may use that data as analytics for FOMC.
Yeah, plan
So
is always right.
yeah, thank you. That's all from me.
Thank- Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And I just have to say that it's lovely to hear you well today. I don't know if you bought a new mic or I just never heard you this clearly before, which is amazing.
I think a lot of people they message me like they can hear me very nicely. What it changed? So I would like to thank you for Mate for a lovely mic, and I'm talking from the phone actually. I don't know, some issue. I changed my laptop or everything, So still it's
No,
the same issue. So I started talking from the phone. So the phone looks to be working very nicely.
yes, it does. Yes, it does. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Stay on that for us, please. All right. Just looking at the time here, we have about, well, less than 8 minutes to go. And let's take a look at some of the names that you guys want us to take a peek at. Uh, Dr. G calling out W Day. I like this chart. A couple of days ago, I looked at it. Let's take a look at it again. Yeah, it's trying to carve out a bottom here on the daily. So it's doing a really good job here, but I like the higher low here. Just a very typical accumulation pattern. Failed to break lower, pushing higher. Really nice. This one is not continuing to the upside. Earnings ahead, so last earning was positive to the upside. The previous earnings was an offside play, it seems. Uh, yeah, it feels to me that on the daily, on the higher time frame, sellers getting a little tired here. So I'll watch them. Sorry, VEEV, the software name. Yeah, as you can see, as usual, we're scrolling through names here. Software is standing out to me. It doesn't mean that it's going to perform well today, but it just remains relatively strong at least. VEV, yeah, keep an eye on 205, 200 average. That's your resistance. NOW we talked about gapping down a bit, but I've watched this one above 113. I think I have an alert. EE is top of my watch list, it's gapping up really nicely here, about 11%. And this is after earnings. Yeah, like this chart is hard for me. The only thing I would say is that if it does back test 180 and it holds, that could be a nice long. 180, 177. So if I can just pull up uh, just mentioned this earlier, but we do have a few minutes, so I'm going to repeat. Today's Wednesday, and Microsoft, Meta, Robinhood, ARM, Qualcomm, LRCX, Lam Research, uh, all have earnings tonight after the close. This is after FOMC. And then tomorrow we do have MasterCard in the morning, and then Apple, Amazon, um, just to mention a few after the close, in addition to Roblox, Reddit, and then on Friday we do have a couple of like oil names, right? Like Chevron, Exxon, and that is it. So pretty big couple days here to market close today and tomorrow. I'm just gonna get the board ready here for the open. Uh, I have TWI here. I like that offside play. Let's see what they do there. Or the 125 break. It's not 300. We have a few alerts down there. Over the snow, one of my favorites, which often when I like it, what it does is that it, it either like reverses what we like about it and just pushes lower, or it pushes higher and off the open. It's really hard to get filled. Uh, so let's see what we get today. All right, what I'm gonna put here. I'm gonna put. I think I will put USO. I will not track USO. I want to track VIX. But we have a close eye on here. I think this could be a nice trade above 340 into that 342. Yeah, otherwise I don't like much. Let's take a look at ES or SPX 500 futures. A little bit low. That's 74.30. Right. Jay, Jay Money with 2 minutes to go. Anything changed in terms of positioning?
No real changes. This keys you were trying to open up right underneath 74.30. So that'll be the main thing early in the session. Do we clear that and do we try to test 74.50 early or not?
I do like that 50 short actually. Like first test, something I'm monitoring. Snow is already making its way higher here. Less than 45 seconds to go here until the. For everybody that's wondering, Matei will join us in a bit. Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah. 5 seconds. Snow pushing that 280 very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. Exactly what we talked about could happen here. SPX pushing lower here, 74.15. Apple make its way above 340. Triple pushing PM high here, looking pretty strong. Likely testing yesterday's high. Snow is just, yeah, 284. Yeah, it's just gone, as I said. Yeah, gone, gone, gone. Unfortunately. D-Dog pushing higher nicely. Snow 290 test here. It's pretty big move here. 285 like triple since the open.